Hello. Wait a second. I'm not.
Hello,
There we are. Now
how you doing?
I am doing fine. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. So we're virtual today. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Today is the 29th, and then what? Next week we are back at the library.
Okay. Hey, Steve,
Hello,
how you doing?
I'm well. How are you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good.
So yeah, I was up until 3:30 this morning, and then
Why?
Oh yeah.
I got back up at 5 because I couldn't sleep. So
Yeah, well, yeah, that happens from time to time.
yeah. It's happening way too often. But so I've got quite a few things going on
Okay.
because I was up and messing with stuff. But part of it, I'm going to wait to see if Ray's here because he talked about those time of flight sensors. So,
Okay.
so
Yeah,
I
that was a couple of weeks ago, wasn't
no, that was last week, I think.
it?
I hope. I, I
Okay.
I don't know. It all kind of blends together when you don't sleep. So, but I've got that, and I've got a little bit of an update on the robot that I've been
Okay.
playing around with. I uploaded all of the old corners from Jim to GitHub, and
Okay.
I put a link to that in the meeting announcement.
Okay.
Um, it's not really organized well, but the corners weren't organized well to start with. So,
Okay.
um, and I updated in that same repository. There already was a TI um, Launchpad directory, which I had forgotten was there. So I updated it with all the information about updating and getting stuff to work to the with the robot. Um, okay.
Well, the short version is it's time to renew my
Ah,
license. Um, it is no longer free.
no,
It's,
unfortunately.
I think it's $35 or something like that.
Yeah. Um,
So I don't know where that came from, but you know, I mean, $35 isn't going to break the bank, but I was comfortably used to the idea that it was always gratis. You just had to fill out the paperwork.
I
When did you have to start paying anyway?
it was this past year, maybe a year and a half ago.
Yeah, well, the of course mine is on, as everybody's is on a 10-year cycle, and it's due this September. So I was a little surprised at the fact that you had to pay for it. So
Yeah, there was I mean a lot of when they were switching it around, there was a lot of people aren't going to pay and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, we spend hundreds of dollars on radios. We spend thousands of dollars on radios. We're going to pay 35 bucks to have a
Yeah,
license for 10 years. I mean,
yeah, yeah.
it,
Well, I guess it's just being startled to have something go from free to pay. So,
well, apparently the ARL uh, fought it, but there was nothing they could do. Apparently, the FCC is supposed to have been charging us since like the beginning.
the beginning?
Like probably the mid 80s.
Oh, okay.
Um, there was some thing, and they kind of ignored it for a while, and I guess Congress finally said, "Hey, why aren't you charging this?" And they said, "Oh, I guess we got to start doing what we were supposed to be doing."
Well, it's interesting, it's a it's a really for the government it's a good deal because you have all these volunteers, generally speaking, not universally speaking, but knowledgeable volunteers who are supporting this service gratis. So, you know, cut us a little slack here, but
Well, I always they say it's an administrative charge, and I'm like, wait, you guys don't administer nothing about the
right,
hams,
yeah,
other than maybe generating a new call sign.
yeah.
There's
Well, it
what
is what it
what what
is.
kind of administrative charge can you possibly need? I mean,
Yeah,
the
well,
fact is it's 35 bucks. The ARRL did get them down from 50 bucks. They wanted to charge us 50 bucks.
oh, really?
So
That's interesting.
they got them down to 35. They also convinced them that to drop the fee for the GMRS from 70 to 35. So when mine comes due in September next year, I am
That's
probably
September 25.
yeah, I am probably going to end up getting both. I'm going to renew my ham license and get a GMRS license and
Okay.
have them set to expire on or about the same day. So, you know, so it's all one thing. Um, there are talks that this is going to be a thing for 5, 6, 7 years. There are talks that people in Congress acknowledge that hams do a lot of free work to
Yeah, it's
help to
volunteer.
to help keep everybody safe and whatever. So there are talks that they should drop this fee, but whether or not that ever happens, who knows? It's
Yeah,
35 bucks. I mean,
yeah.
it's $3
Well,
50 cents a year. It's
yes, yes, that's true.
it's
Well, I mean, I don't have no intention of refusing to pay it or anything. I was just kind of startled to see it.
well,
I
I
mean,
I worked too hard to get my extra class license. So, I'll pay the 35 bucks. I won't be happy, but I'll do it.
yeah.
And
Um,
I know a few clubs, that how the clubs could charge 15 bucks to they didn't have to charge, but they could charge. And I know a few clubs have waived that fee because now the FCC is charging. So, they're back to just strictly, you know, you go and you take a test and then you got to go and pay your FCC fee. So,
Well, I guess anytime the government sees an opportunity to collect money from me, they are fairly prompt at getting that done. At any rate,
well,
so
that was the other thing. They announced this. Oh, I know it's been 3 years ago, and it took them over a year to get the website to the point where it was even able to charge a fee. And it is a complicated mess because it's the government. Of course it is.
yeah. Well, this says the FCC started charging a $35 fee on April 19th, 2022. That must be paid before they will renew your license.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, well, okay.
That sounds about right. Yeah. It's been a year and a half, 2 years. So um
So at any rate, I will
but but
it's
if
not straightforward though. You gotta sign up for some special account and use that account then to pay your money.
well, that's what I was
So
going to say.
it isn't straightforward. So they
No,
made it complicated.
no, you've got to link your FRN number to this new account that you've already got an account that already has all that information. But no, of course not. The pay account is something completely different.
Yeah.
It is an overly complicated government bureaucracy mess. And then you
Well,
renew your license, then they send you an email that says, here's the link to pay. Then you got to pay, and then you've got to wait for them to verify that the payment has actually happened before they say, yes, here's your license.
oh well.
It is an overly complicated. Never mind. I mean, it's the government. It's
Well, it reminds me of one of Mark Twain's homilies about nobody's safe when Congress is in session. So,
well, from what I have, what little bit I've looked at it, um, of course, the broadcasters and GMRS and other services have had to pay for years and years and years, and they just tried to integrate the hams into the same system
yeah.
and botched it. It's just
Well, but the broadcasters are getting a service for it, whereas it's not clear to me what we're getting for that. But in any case, I mean, it's a volunteer service. We're volunteering our time. So
I,
at any rate,
I've got no answer for that one. I just know this whole thing was going on for 3 or 4 years. I mean, that's I've I just resigned that okay, it happened. I'm going to have to pay.
yeah.
Oh,
So you said you had a bunch of things going on because you couldn't sleep last night.
yeah. I got the automatic bed leveler for the Creality 3, the Ender 3. And it I don't know what was going on. I don't know if it was because I was tired or whatever. I could not get the stupid thing to work. This morning, I got it to work and I got a
Oh,
near perfect print. I mean, that is as close to perfect as you could possibly get.
looks like it's got a pretty smooth surface.
It does. That is, there's no lines in it that aren't supposed to be there. I can read the back. It says 3D Benchy. There's little tiny, you can't see it on the camera. There's a little tiny print,
Mhm.
little teeny tiny print. And it says 3D Benchy, and then it's got the name of the thing, CT3D.XYZ on the bottom. That is about as close to perfect as I've ever seen.
How long does it take to crank that out?
Uh, was that an hour and a half, maybe?
Okay.
I'm printing a dog right now just because I wanted to, I tweaked it just a little bit because I think it was still just a little too low. Um, that's part of what was going on is even though it's got the automatic leveler adjustment thing on it, you do have to kind of tweak it so that it knows
The
where the
leveler is in
where
relation to the head.
yeah. And I mean, as far as the print goes, that's as good as I've ever gotten. But I think it was just a tad low, or the bed was just a tad high, actually. So, one, however you want to figure that out. But so I adjusted it, and looks like it's going to be pretty close. This is I you have to update the firmware on that thing, and Creality doesn't make it real clear which firmware to update or how to do it the right way.
Uh-huh.
And I put the wrong firmware on it twice. I bricked the machine twice. Uh,
Okay.
If you can recover, it wasn't bricked.
I was gonna say,
well,
there's bricked and permanently bricked.
it was bricked. It was not usable, but it was recoverable. So you've got to jump through hoops. But there's apparently two different versions of, well, there's more than that, but apparently there's two different motherboards that are in these things, and you've got to know which motherboard you've got because if you put the wrong firmware on, bad
It
things
don't
happen.
work. So,
And I am not even sure where I told it I had an Ender 3 version 2, and it gave me firmware for an Ender 3 Max or something. And the the bed size on the Max is huge. And so this thing was it when it was trying to auto sense, it was going trying to go way off of the rails. And I'm like, that ain't right. That firmware actually
well,
it actually took that firmware, but it it wasn't even close to where it was supposed to be.
well, now are they serialized or not?
The firmwares?
No, no, the bed.
No, it just moves in steps. And if you have a bigger bed, the maximum steps is a bigger number.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So mine's 220 by 220 by something. The max is 235 by 235 or something like that. So it's trying to go well off the size of what I've got. Um And yeah, of course that caused problems. So I had to, you know, once I realized, oh wait, it's got the wrong number in there. I was trying to figure out, do I just reset it? How do I do this? And I just finally figured out that no, it's the wrong firmware. That Creality sent me the wrong damn firmware. So it's actually running old firmware from 2017 because any of the modern firmware it doesn't like. So this printer is either, well, it's probably an old printer that just doesn't like the modern firmware.
Was the firmware open source so you can go in and edit it and so forth and so on?
So one of the firmwares that I got did have the source code, but most of it does not. Most of it's just
Okay.
the binary file. Um, I don't know if it's open source or if that was a mistake or who knows why they put the source code in one of them. But one of the times that it bricked, it the motherboard didn't brick, the screen bricked.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said too. Was so the screen has a small motherboard, small controller built into it, and you have to take the screen apart to get to the upgrade port.
Really?
Yes, that was fun.
So what is the source code written in? What languages are?
I don't know. I'll see if I can find it.
They started out being Arduino code.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
It's probably some variation of C, but um
I don't know. I mean, honestly, they're pretty darn slow. INO files are quick enough.
yeah. The source though, it just said source, it just said dot source, so I didn't even open it. I didn't look to see what it was because I didn't care. I just wanted something to work. Um
So is this one of the ones that you got from Ray?
yeah,
Let me
yeah.
know which version of the code you needed to put in. I haven't even plugged that thing in yet.
I will let you well, okay, so it took when I first got it and I was having all kinds of problems with it, I thought, okay, it's got a bad firmware on it. So I reloaded the factory firmware, the original factory firmware.
Hmm.
Um, and I think I reloaded version one, and I even loaded the wrong one on there because there's the touch version, and then there's the uh touch version that also has the filament uh
Hmm.
detector, and then there's the version that just has the filament detector by itself. And then there's the standard version, which doesn't have any of the extra sensors. And of course, if you don't have the sensors, you just need the standard version, but it's not clear which version is which. You just kind of load them. Um, so that was the first thing. That firmware worked fine. Um, it was all right. The touch firmware was where I started having problems. And I think I ended up using the touch firmware from the original package from the 2017 version of the firmware.
Oh, I'm not seeing anything that old here.
Uh,
20 is the oldest thing I've seen. And I was assuming you were going for the Ender 3 Marlin
Yeah,
2.0.6.
2.0.8, I think.
Ah,
No, not the dot eight. The dot eight is what caused me problems. Uh, and the 2.7 didn't work either. I can send you the file that I got.
I'm
Yeah.
just,
Yeah, it's I stuck the I stuck a different 2.0.8 on there. I tried two different 2.8s.
hmm.
See, it's a mess.
So I don't even know. I know it's an Ender 3, but
Version 2. And this firmware is dated maybe September 17, 2021. Is that the firmware I used? Oh, maybe I got it backwards because the 17's in the wrong spot. I'm sure that's the firmware I
so
used.
so I'm looking at Ender 3 version 2 Neo,
Nope, 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 nope,
not the
nope,
Neo.
nope, 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 nope. Not the Neo. Stay away from the Neo. Yeah, I don't know what the difference is, but it it's not
Ah,
a Neo.
so just plain Ender 3 version 2 3D printer.
Yep.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I don't know what the difference is, but it's
The
not a
Neo
Neo.
has a built-in height sensor.
Oh, doesn't? Okay.
Yeah. And I was looking at that going, wait, why did you replace that?
Wow.
Ah, it has the exquisite appearance.
No, I bought the leveling kit off of eBay for 18 bucks. Straight from Creality. I mean, and it was here within a couple of days. It came from California.
Hmm.
It was awesome. It was awesome until I actually tried to use it. It's not hard. It's actually not hard to install. Um, I of course took some shortcuts because I am me, but you're supposed to run the cable up through the cable management system and do all that. I just strapped it, wire tied it to the cable management system and said the heck with trying to fish it through this pipe that's already full of wires. But the worst part was it's not real clear. The motherboard has three screws that are very obvious. You need to take those out to get to the motherboard, but it wasn't real clear that there's also a screw on the top holding the tray in, which I don't know why it's on the top. So there's actually four screws, and that wasn't real clear, but it was pretty clear where at least on mine, the board can only plug in to one spot. The so there was only one spot where I could
Hmm.
plug it in. Um, you have to, which I missed the first time around. You have to unplug the original Z-axis sensor, the little switch
Hmm.
thing, and I missed that the first time, and I don't think that caused any problems per se, but it needs to be disconnected because it's using the bed leveler for sensing where the Z-axis is.
Okay.
Um, yeah, it's kind of cool, but one of the video I ended up watching a video just because I was getting frustrated, and one of the guys said he just took it off altogether because there was no real reason to have it on there if it's not being used. And I said, okay, so I took it off. Um, so it definitely is not causing any kind of problem. Um, but I ended up having to reload the height sensing firmware, the bed leveling firmware twice. I don't think it took the first time. I think it kind of worked, but it kept even after I leveled the bed because you've got to initially do a rough level,
Hmm.
and then you've got to tell it what the offset is for the Z-axis. And even after I did all that, it was still about 2 millimeters too high.
Hmm.
So I don't think the original my original firmware upgrade actually upgraded. I think it partially upgraded. So I had to upgrade it twice. Now here's a secret about doing an upgrade with the Ender. Rename the upgrade file. Make some random number or name or something up. Because apparently the motherboard, stores all the upgrades that you've already done by file name. And as far as I can tell, there's no way to erase those. But once it sees that you've done that upgrade, like if you upgrade 1, 2, 3, once it sees that you've done that upgrade, it won't let you apply that upgrade again. But if you rename that to 1, 2, 4 upgrade, it will let you upgrade.
Nice. That's
So,
stupid.
yes, I 100% agree. It's asinine. Now, I downloaded the latest firmware that had the touchscreen, or not the touchscreen, the screen software. So I am running screen software that was actually meant for, I don't know, the Macs, I guess, with the old firmware, and it seems to work because I could not get the screen software that for the firmware that I am using to actually upgrade the screen. Could not get it to do it. And it's a completely different process. It's a completely different process. So I just said, well, if the problem is the screen isn't communicating with the motherboard, I will try the latest firmware. And that worked. And I was like, okay, the adventures of I am never upgrading the thing again. I'm done. Up. Vicente's here, but he's having problems with his camera. Hi, Vicente. I about a week ago, 2 weeks ago, AliExpress told me I could buy those for $1.25. So these are just charging, I think. No, these are the programmable. So I could use programming cable with these.
Yeah.
Um, and I got four of them for $1.25. But then they offered me, yeah, these are the programming ones. Then they offered me the chance to actually buy more programming cables for $2. And I was like, okay, I could use more programming cables. And $2 is a heck of a lot cheaper than what M5 Stack was selling almost the same cable for. And it works with the M5 Stack connector. So I was like, cool. And now this cable, if I wanted to buy this cable again, it's $7. And I'm like, "Arr." But then just the charging cables, it definitely was cheaper to buy another charging cable just for the connectors than it was to buy the connectors. The connectors are insanely priced when you could get the charging cable with three connectors for a couple of bucks.
Hmm.
So I ended up doing that. That was my purchase of the week. And I don't know if Ray's going to be here or not. Are we not working? I don't like DuPont cables. Anyway, so one of the drawbacks to messing around with this robot from many, many, many years ago is not only is there not a whole lot of information left, a lot of the libraries and stuff for it are even gone. But I did finally find an old library for the old Nokia screen. And I even found a library for the OLED screen, but it's neither one of them work real well. Um, Here we go. Let's see. Nope, that's not what I want to do. So weird issues with, like, I'm not sure if it's the robot, if it's the board, if it's the Arduino IDE or whatever, or if it's the driver itself. But you got to power it from the batteries to get it to even attempt to display over the I2C bus, which I just think is weird. Oh, And there's the display, the Nokia display. So it does work. And the little library that I found for that, um, it didn't have any way to set contrast or anything, so I figured out how to do that by looking at the Adafruit library. And
Vicente, your
once I
camera is working.
yep, once I figured out the contrast, the you can actually read the stupid screen. So you got anything new, Mr. Vicente? I can't hear you.
I can't either.
No, we can't hear you.
So the video is working, the audio is not.
Oh, he disappeared. So
Mhm.
have you seen that retro terminal, Mr. Steve?
Blue and kind of round. Yeah, I
No,
think
uh, it's green.
there are many of them.
Are there?
Hmm. Looks good.
It's got that weird curve thing to it. Zork.
I have that set of CDs.
So do I
Uh,
somewhere.
It's Zork, Beyond Zork, Zork 1, 2, and 3, I think.
Zork Zero. All right. I
No,
can't not hear
No,
you. I don't
no
know.
audio.
I don't know.
Video is nice and clear, but the audio is, hmm.
Eh, yes, if you're going to play a game like Zork, you got to be on a green screen. Get that real retro vibe going on.
um,
Hmm.
I was my sister was having a yard sale this past weekend, and she had a laptop out for $15. And I was honestly surprised that it was still sitting there when I got there. She she had no idea what it was, no clue. It was an i7, 8 core,
Really?
8 core. It had 512 gig hard drive, SSD, MV, whatever, um, and 16 gigs of RAM.
I
For
assume you
15
have a new
bucks.
$15 laptop.
Well, I picked that up. I carried it around. I brought it home. And I put Linux on it. And a day later, my nephew calls me up and says, I think you've got my laptop.
She sold.
She sold not just his it was his work's laptop.
Oh,
Ouch.
I felt a little bad because I had already put Linux on it. I had wiped the Windows partition out completely. I mean, the restore partition, everything. He luckily said that he was friends with the IT department. He's already messed it up once. So they've already
but it's
fixed it.
better now.
Yes.
Except for he needed it for meetings or whatever, and the camera was the only thing that I could not get to work. So better is a relative term, I guess, considering what he was doing. Anyway, he said she sold my laptop. I'm like, yeah, I'm surprised that she had 15 bucks on it. It's like minimum $200 laptop, minimum. I said, you're lucky
Oh, no
I'm the
doubt.
one that got it because anybody else that was paying any kind of attention to that thing would have grabbed that for, and you'd never ever see it again and you'd be stuck paying your company whatever. He handed me a he handed me the laptop that she was supposed to sell, which turns out to be an i5. It isn't. It's a it's a quad core with hyper threading, so it shows up as 8 cores, 8 gigs of RAM, and 256 gig SSD. And I was like, oh, okay. I guess it's still. He said he handed me back 15 bucks. Said, here's the laptop. Here's $15. Thank you for bringing it back. So I ended up with a free laptop out of the deal anyway. It's just not the one I wanted. But
This is the one I
We
thought you
would.
meant.
oh no, no, no. That's pretty cool though.
Yeah, and actually pretty easy to print. It splits into 8 big pieces and a couple of smaller pieces. It's a standard 60% keyboard that just
Okay,
drops in there. And I think it's an 8-inch display, but HDMI. So little Pi 3 in there.
cool. Might have to do that.
Lots and lots of free space
Lots of free space.
and available in pink.
Available in any color you choose.
So how long does it take to print that case?
2 days
Okay, that's not bad.
ish.
Hmm.
Vicente still can't talk. Did did you get the leveling kit for yours, Ray? For your printers?
My leveling kits include 4 little wheels at the corner of the work beds. Okay. So no, we didn't go with auto leveling. I've got one 3D printer. It's the Anycubic, and it has auto leveling. But my son did something to it, and now the bed says that it's at the wrong temperature and all that fun stuff.
Well, you're going to have to watch the beginning of this video when I upload it, because I went through all the headache of upgrading the firmware. It was not fun. It was not
You have the
fun.
right firmware now, right?
Yes, now
Okay.
that's part of that's Creality. They don't make it real clear which firmware is the right firmware. So,
Nope.
so
But now that you know the answer to all that,
Hello, hello,
yeah,
hello,
now
hello.
now that I know the answer to all that, I'm sending it to Steve so he will have the right firmware.
not true.
So
Hello, hello, hello.
we can hear you.
Yeah.
Yes, you're
Ah,
there.
Hello, hello, hello.
So what did you change there,
okay,
Vicente?
it's working now.
It's working now.
Oh my God. I
Working
changed all
indefinitely.
kind of switches in this computer. Finally. I was messing with the audio system to try to record YouTube audio. So I changed everything and finally I damaged the meeting microphone. Okay, back. Is that?
That's one of the time of flight sensors. I think last week Ray had said something about them.
Yeah.
What's
And
that? Time of flight? What?
time of flight, yeah.
Okay. Distance.
And so I know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. That's not the time of flight sensor. So I was trying to hold it against the tape measure on the 1 foot mark and shining it at a thing, and it kept saying 12.64, but when I actually finally started looking, I'm not on the 1 foot mark at all. So I was trying to gauge just how accurate it is. I think it's better than I thought it was, because I thought it was off a bit, but it's pretty hard to hold that all in place and take a picture. And
What the size of the obstacle is? Can be a pen or a jar or a wall.
yeah, I was pointing it at my monitor. So I had the tape measure against the monitor, and I thought I was holding it at 1 foot, but I really wasn't. So it was pretty. Yeah, I think it's pretty close, though. I think it's close enough for government work. It
You don't work for the government.
That's true. So it's not good enough. No, it's not a horrible sensor, but I've got like they're all the same sensor. I've got like 3 different versions of that same sensor. There it is in a 3D printed package, and there it is on a hat. It's a M5 hat. They all pretty much work the same way. And there's the Grove connected sensor. So I could plug it into the Grove. And in theory, I should be able to use two of them now. Because this would be wire one and this would be wire zero and wire one, or vice versa. One way or the other. But in theory, I should be able to use two. The orientation would be a little different, but
Yeah, but put them a couple inches apart, and now you can tell if you're parallel or perpendicular to a wall. That'd be nice.
and since they have the Lego holes in them, I could make a nice little Lego mount so that it would be steady instead of moving around while I'm trying to take pictures.
Yeah.
But those were my experiments. These are the VL53L0X. And um I think that weird number that I was getting off of it, I think that turns out to be millimeters. Because when I just converted it to inches and it turned out to be, fairly close. So I think the number is a millimeter. And I don't think in metric. I think in imperial.
Oh, really? Okay.
So some metric just throws me off every time I see it.
I was playing yesterday with my 9071 replica computer. I am trying to control a stepper motor and a dinging bell with a single bit to control direction, speed, and the dinging of the bell. And I think I finished it. I did it. I have the everything in my desk now. You see?
Oh, yep.
This is the angle of the light.
Mhm.
I am using a single bit this LED to produce the pulse to ding. You hear?
I no, I didn't
Uh,
hear it.
no,
No.
no sound. Well, I am pressing the
Yeah, I see it. I don't hear it.
okay. I don't know why, because maybe high frequency is a ding. And I can move the stepper motor in one direction or in the other direction with a single bit.
That's cool.
Yeah. And this is the bell.
Bing. There, I binged it for you. Bing.
Yeah. Okay. And this is the
Okay.
the sensor. This is the easy driver from smartphone that controls the motor in the back of this thing somewhere, a stepper motor. And the ding, the bell. I don't know where is the microphone. Supposedly the microphone is in the camera. Hello, hello, hello.
I think you got it right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know why it doesn't detect the Maybe it's too close. I don't know.
You're probably right. It's probably got something to do with the frequency.
Yeah, because it's sounding, but let's see.
Is it real loud?
Yeah, it's annoying. My wife hates me.
Well, I have no idea why we're not hearing it then
Yeah.
if it's loud.
I also bought the kit to assemble the original computer, the Kimba one. It's like a 135 PPL chips in a huge board. Let me show the board. This is the PCB.
Oh, wow.
Mhm. It's a replica with the TTL logic.
How
It
many
was
chips go on that thing?
100,
How many chips go on that?
130, more or less. I have a picture. Let me show a picture of this.
How many layers in that board?
Two.
What?
Just two?
What? What?
Sorry, just go over it. That's it. There's nothing wrong from what I was told.
Let me show the board assembled and sharing the screen. This is the board, the assembled board.
Wow.
Nice.
You see?
Good.
These cables are for the lamps and the switches for the front panel. This is the computer. This one belongs to Paul Allen from Microsoft. He died and is now in an auction in Seattle. They are selling this thing. Let me look for the link to the auction. That is live. Let me check, where is it? Just a second. There it is. Okay. Can you see this? It's Christie's, the ocean thing. And this is the price now. The current bid is 22,000.
So that's going to end up at your house, right?
Yeah. And the estimate range is from 20 to 30,000.
Bet it goes over that.
What?
I'll bet it goes over 30K.
Yes, sure, will be. It started 3 days ago.
Oh,
In 6,000. Now it's going by 22,000. We'll continue growing. This computer was in the museum in Seattle, the Computer History Museum, and they are selling almost half of the computers And I don't know if I can look for all the stuff they are selling. There it is.
Wow.
You can buy an IBM 650, a Univac. They are selling off kind of computers. A DEC PDP-10.
Oh yeah.
And they are selling an Apple One also. Let me check if I'm inside. Look, this is the Apple One. Look at the starting
Wow.
billing. Crazy.
Wow.
The,
Well, the Apple One's really rare, so
yeah, this is the picture of the. For the Apple One. Here is the 256 bytes of the program in these two chips. The keyboard, the wood case. They have the actual computer inside the acrylic case, but they also sell the original wood case. The power supply, that's it. So no one is trying to buy it. This is the starting bid, but look at there are 54 bids for this one. You see?
well, compared to the Apple One, that's far more
No,
reasonable.
nobody is trying to buy the Apple One, but looks like there is a lot of people trying to have this one.
It's far more reasonably priced.
Yeah, 10 times cheaper. Okay, that's all.
That's neat. There's um, uh,
That's why I made the replica, the ruler, you see?
yep.
It's the same, the same computer, but in the ruler I incorporate the assembler and disassembler. So you can use a terminal to make programs instead of paper and pencil.
Yeah.
You are in Milford, right?
I'm sorry?
You are here in Ohio now.
I am right now in Milford, yes.
Yeah, I see. Okay.
Next week, we head back to California.
Are you enjoying the temperature, the
I'm
weather?
sorry?
How is the weather here?
The weather here is fine.
Hot.
It's hot.
A little hot, a little
Yeah.
hot. But it's a lot hotter in California right now.
Yeah. Oh my God.
But
They're also starting to get some fires.
Yeah, I saw.
the heat's
So
different.
is your daughter home now, or is she back
Yes,
in?
she's here. She will start in next month. in 18 of September.
Are they on quarter system or semester system?
Trimester, 3 months each period.
So it's trimesters, okay.
Yeah.
I was
She
going,
was on vacation, was in Florida, tagging the manta rays, capture the rays and putting tags in them. And she's now at home again.
I was going to say that the heat in California is different than the heat here.
Well,
Because the
you
humidity.
you get some rain here in the summertime, whereas in California
Okay.
we don't get rain.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, the last couple of years we essentially didn't get rain at all. Got a little bit, but
Yeah. Yeah. It's the humidity.
well, the humidity here is much higher than it is
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's why it's so hot. It feels so hot.
Well, that's what air conditioning is for.
Yeah, except mine's not really doing what it's supposed to be doing. It's hot in here. Patty is she's doing laundry, and every time she does laundry it just gets hot no matter what the air says. Sailing, sailing.
This ship floats in the water.
No, these benchies don't float. But they're a good way to tell if your printer's doing what it's supposed to be doing.
Yeah, yeah.
But
It's a test device and test design.
yeah, I mean, even though I had all kinds of headaches getting the auto leveling kit working, I want all my printers to have auto leveling. This is just this is one of the best prints. I can't find anything really wrong with it. Even if I do think it was a little the bed was a little high.
Mhm.
Now, if I had that auto leveling kit, I could have used my Creolity to probably print a bunch of those dragons that it didn't like printing. So I have pretty much finished going through all the old code that was on my computer. I've still got a little bit left to go, but I've found stuff that didn't work anymore and stuff that I'm not even sure why I made it in the first place, kind of stuff. That's all just taking up space, so it went away. So I've done a lot over this last week, mainly because I can't sleep.
See, I found the thing I told you I will give to
Oh,
you.
cool,
You
cool.
see?
Yep. Thank you.
found it.
Yeah, see, you're like me, Vicente. You've got projects everywhere,
Everywhere.
everywhere. You've got so much stuff on your hard drive you don't even know what's there anymore.
I use Google Drive to put all the projects.
Yeah. I I don't know. I put most of the stuff that I've got on GitHub.
But Ray is the project master.
Yeah.
He has plenty of space for the projects.
Have you guys ever seen my desk? Have you looked in my office? Have you looked in my warehouse? I don't have space.
That's because you have so many projects.
I have projects everywhere. Everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah, but he can sit still and look around his office. No big deal.
No, but I
I
have
had to get
three.
in a cart or
I
a buggy
have
or a
two
car
rooms,
to go
two
to the
additional
building.
rooms, and the full basement of projects with shelves all around, with drawers for each Arduino, resistor, capacitors, switches, anything.
So that's why I'm going through stuff, because I'm getting rid of old code that I don't even have, like some of the old robot code that Ray ended up with the robots.
Look, this is
New stuff. New stuff.
Yeah,
This is stuff I haven't even looked at yet. It's been here for
this
3
is
years.
just bags that are coming every day from China.
I am missing a box from China. It said that it cleared customs on the 18th, and it has not gotten here yet, and I'm not real sure what's going on with it. It appears like it has been lost somewhere.
I just bought a couple of nano CNC nano shields, you see?
Yep.
And I bought the drivers that are supposedly super silent.
I've got some of those somewhere.
Yes, they come in different
Yeah.
bags with a heatsink.
Yep.
I didn't try them.
I've still got that little tiny desktop CNC that I bought 4 or 5 years ago and still haven't ever put together. It's sitting brand new in a box. Just like this thing was sitting brand new in a box.
You need to bring that little bitty CNC over to my shop and I'll help you put it together.
And we could upgrade it to have a water cooled laser on it. Because every tiny desktop CNC needs a water cooled laser that probably would melt right through all the whole entire thing. But you know, That robot had been sitting brand new in a box for,
Uh-huh.
I have no idea how long it's been sitting there. Long enough that TI doesn't support it anymore. Long enough that
A vintage robot.
and I've got a whole there's 15 or 20 of these Hulu chassis,
Romy chassis.
the Romy chassis that we got off of eBay for $10 a piece that had the motor drivers with it.
Yeah. I have 6 red and 4 black.
Mine ended I ended up with all red, but I wasn't
No,
going to
my blacks one are from MCN, the ones that close in
uh-huh.
near Middletown.
Yeah. Up in Springboro.
They sell the blacks one, but just the plastic chassis, no the motors, no
Yeah. Well,
nothing else.
I ended up I think I did end up with a black one from there, but that guy on eBay was selling the red ones, and for
Yeah.
$10 I wasn't going to complain. I
Then
mean,
you have everything, the motors and the power board.
the power board and the motors, the motor drivers. It's a heck of a deal for $10.
Yeah.
I don't think he's selling them anymore. I think he's finally gotten rid of all of them he had.
Maybe some school or project or something that went south.
Yeah. But that was such a good deal. I had to buy a bunch of them. And in that regard, I'm like Ray. Oh, it's such a great deal. Let's buy 50 of these 3D printers.
Why are you saying those mean things about me?
It's all in good
Just a
fun.
comment.
It's all in good fun. Because I know you, Ray, you would give me a hard time if I bought 50 printers.
And we now need the Raspberry Pi Pico 2, the new one.
Yep.
I'm waiting for Micro Center to announce that they have it.
The
I have
Raspberry
no
Pi.
idea what to do with it, but it's 5 volts tolerant. This is new.
The Raspberry Pi 5, did they just offer a 2 gig model for cheaper than
Cheaper, I
Yeah,
think,
they did.
yeah.
2, 4, and 8.
On the Pico 2, there's a issue with pull down resistors
Yeah.
on it.
Yeah. Try not to use it.
Yeah.
Use just pull-ups.
Are we going to go on a tour? Oh,
What are you talking about?
Where?
Why would I do that?
Ray's walking away. Let's see what Ray's got going on. Oh my, I was partially kidding, Ray.
Okay, so we have restructured our 3D printing area.
Oh
So
my
obviously
God.
there's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 3D printers up right now. We got the K2 Max up there on top that doesn't work. Oh, there's another one down there. I forgot. Got some computers to run them. We built all these wire rack shelves into doing this for us. And obviously we got rid of the desk that was in here. And we took this wire rack shelf and we made it into like this custom desk. And
That's pretty awesome.
it does it like this little bump out. I saw one of my customers did this before. And it's so much better than trying to straddle another desk or buy a desk
nice.
smaller.
Nice.
And
Yeah.
and this you can get it at the right height. So
Nice.
whatever
Yeah,
height you
yeah,
wanted to.
yeah.
And you got a little desk, shelving below it. You got storage above it.
My,
And
my,
we
my, my
we
problem,
got
my problem are the legs. I want to move the legs under.
so we
Then don't
actually
put a
got
shelf in
all
the
of our
bottom.
filament.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah,
it's
look
better
at
So
under.
you got more filament than Micro Center.
no, we don't have more in Micro Center. We got about a fourth as much as Micro Center. So so yeah,
Oh,
most of all of these that you see is actually double deep. So it's like it's
Mm.
back in there.
so so
Uh
so if I ever need filament, I know where to go.
I like the 4 colors bamboo printer.
The
yeah, I
thing
don't
to
have any of
add
those. I
in,
got normal stuff.
the thing to add in at this point, if anybody's looking for a set of those shelves, they've got those at Sam's Clubs right now for $99. Or I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Sam's Club.
Yeah,
$99.
$99.
Oh, I need a
Wow.
Yeah, so
couple.
I
Okay,
I
I'll
had
be
bought
there.
them at Costco, and Costco had them for $99 like 2 weeks before you guys told us about this. So I had them sitting in my warehouse waiting for us to do this. Now, if
They
you ever
are.
see these shelves on sale where they come with the bins, it's like a 32
Yeah.
bin set. Those I love those. These are so nice.
Where
Um,
in Costco now?
oh, I go to Costco all the time.
Yeah.
So you can see the different colors that I have. This is the PETG that's in the blue boxes. And then, no, the red boxes are PETG. The blue boxes are PLA plus, and then the brown boxes are just PLA. We got I bought a nice variety because we got these for like 6, 8, and like $9 per box.
Wow.
So it ended up being a pretty good price. Um,
You will need
see
an
how the
air
camera works in the
extractor.
dark. Camera's doing pretty good in the dark. It's not too bad.
You will need fresh air in this room full of 3D
So
printers.
this this is what I need.
Uh-huh.
I need bins that are like this. That's a lot of nice bins.
Mhm.
Mhm. Okay. So now it's all good here, I guess. I didn't realize the lights are still on. It didn't automatically trigger for me at first. So anyway,
Access.
This is a robot dog.
Robot dog.
Completely not programmable.
I say completely not programmable. And that's the older model.
I knew you had a lot of 3D printing supplies and whatever. I didn't realize you had that much. That
Well, it's Aiden's fault. I would try to blame my son, but maybe not.
Yeah,
I will
never.
I will concede that it might be like 2% Aiden's fault and 98%.
Someone amplify the fall.
I think if you go to court legally, and if he's more than 1% at fault, he's just as liable for all debt.
Well, it's cool. He's learning having fun.
Oh yeah, he's really jumped into it.
Yeah. Well, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, he probably knows stuff about those printers that you could only imagine.
He's got plenty of time to just sit around and watch videos all about 3D printing.
That's the whole firmware thing on this thing. I ended up having to watch. I watched a couple one video, and I ended up watching it 2 or 3 times because I was like, oh, okay, I want to grab the same firmware this guy's using because it's working for him. And it took me a little while to find it on the Creality website because it's an older firmware. But yeah, they really need to make it more clear what that firmware is for which models it's for. But you really can't deny the results.
Mhm.
Oh, hang on. Let me see if I can get this off the bed.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Are you done?
I'm talking to the robot.
Oh, I thought you were on the phone with it.
No.
Bye.
Bye.
Right.
Or like
I will need a couple of panels.
go.
Sure. This is aluminum, 1.2 millimeters. The front panel.
Are you ready?
I sent a link to this video in the comments.
Okay.
This is a guy that is selling the kit and trying to assemble them also online. I don't. This is the
And when you're done, you can sell it for $25,000.
I hope so.
Yeah.
No, maybe 1,000. This is the case.
I don't have any tools for bending the aluminum.
I thought you had a break.
No, Vicente was supposed to help me out with that.
Yeah, supposedly. I have one in a box in the shed. In the shed. I will try to open it and see if I can bend this box.
Too many projects.
Yeah. You can order the box in PCB way, but they charge you like 800 bucks for the box. This is the box delivery by PCB way. You see these bends here. Instead of they make two bends, they use dot soldering, electro welding for this part. That's why you see these ugly marks here in the top. You see,
Mm,
they solder this tab along the box instead of bending twice the material. I have
I think they still did two bends. I think they came back and did a spot weld just to make sure that it didn't unbend.
no, but let me show you. It's too ugly. I don't know. You see, it's too ugly for the case to do that in both sides.
That's weird.
Yeah.
that is weird.
But for me, there is not a bend in the second one. The second bend is not done. It's just a solder thing. You see here is
Yeah.
the separation. And supposedly is a bend. I have the draw somewhere here. Let me.
I'd ask for more pictures. I think it's still one bend.
No, there are two bends.
I mean, they're going to bend it multiple times because you can't put something in there and get it this way. They have to get it so much, then they have to come back out and finish closing it.
Look, this is my
It
plan
has to do at least two bends.
This is my plan to do the both bends. This is the original draw. This is the original draw of the case. You see, there are two bends, 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Well, I need to remove this this bending block to make the bend. I need to remove this L shape block and just use the bending leaf. And this is the sequence I am planning to try to make both. You see?
How are you going to hold it for that
I
second
see
to
what he's
last
doing.
bend?
I see it.
No, this you can put in over this part and just press.
Yeah, but it'll try to go up when you do that.
You'll have to clamp it
to
into
avoid
place.
this to move up. But I need to try to see if I can do it. When I was a kid, I played a lot with this machine in my father's workshop. And I play a lot with making boxes and cutting sheet metal. So I think I can do it, but I don't know if the quality of this machine is enough to do that, because it looks a little weak, but I don't know. The maximum thickness is 20, and the specification of this material is 20 gauge also. So maybe in the limit of the machine.
Would it be acceptable to score the metal with the laser before you bend it? That would promote the bend to happen exactly on the line.
Yeah. very sophisticated thing, yeah, but it will work, sure.
That's normal for us.
Yeah, this is the future.
The future.
That's not the future. It's like last week, 2 weeks ago.
I just ordered a table for this break from Brisley to put this break at my level, like in a table. It's a strong table. I have the picture of it somewhere. No. Another problem is the handles of the box, the aluminum. These aluminum handles in each side. Original, they are extrusion parts. But I will need to do it with a milling machine using aluminum bars. The, the lamp. Let me look for something. Just a second. This is another project I made. I was working in a house for the squirrels. This is another project. Woodworking.
You like squirrels?
No, but I was cleaning a tree and three baby squirrels fell down. So my daughter is giving them milk, special formula. We bought all the kit to feed them, and they are growing hair and they are growing, but
Nice.
they are still very very small.
I used to have a pet squirrel.
What?
I used to have a pet squirrel. He lived inside the house.
You have it?
Not anymore, but I used to.
Okay, okay. Let me
It
show
was
a picture of them.
it was a white albino squirrel. Hmm.
This is my daughter. Just a sec.
I just sent you the firmware, Steve, via
Thank you.
email. Hopefully it
Thank you.
gets to you.
Hmm.
This is the squirrels.
Ah, oh yeah.
This is
Hope
my father.
hope
This is my project. This is
Not a squirrel.
no, this is another one in my backyard.
Are you hoping to change the squirrels to Alvin and the chipmunks?
Well, my daughter calls them Alvin, Simon, and she put the names of
Theodore.
the yeah, Theodore. Yes, this
But
is the
but
size. This is the size of them now.
but those
They,
those are chipmunks, not squirrels.
yeah, but you know,
Well, they grow up pretty fast.
yeah. But we need to leave them in a special house that they will take care of them because we are traveling next week. So, and they need to be fed every 4 hours. It's crazy. If you don't feed them, they start crying low.
Just like kids.
Yeah. I share a link to a YouTube video
Mm.
of this Kimball One computer. He's a guy that put the video a couple of weeks ago, and he's planning to assemble online or make some videos about the assembling. I am planning to use this metal dip the base for each chip instead of solder the chip there directly in the board as the original. I will use bases, the
Lots of sockets.
sockets, yeah. But the one that is round metal, I don't know the name.
The Milmax.
Machine
Yeah,
pins.
machine
Machine
pin.
pin. Yeah, I will put all the sockets and then try to run with because if one of them are bad, it will be a real problem. Try to correct the thing.
So are you not going to be in town next week, Vicente?
The 8th, I am traveling. The 8th is Friday or Saturday. I don't know. I'll be in the next meeting, I think.
Okay.
I hope.
Well, that would be the 5th.
Yeah, I'll be here.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be in the meeting. If I don't get COVID again.
Yeah. I'm glad you got over that.
Yeah,
So
was mild, but I was tired all the time.
when that's how I felt when I had it. All I wanted to do was sleep.
Yeah, sleep, do nothing.
But my yesterday was the opposite problem. I couldn't go to sleep. I just was up. I'm awake. That little print didn't turn out too bad. It's actually a really good print. It's just I was expecting something more like more like a happy cat, you know, instead of a tiny dog. But it printed it real well. A lot of little tiny details you can't see on the camera. So I think I've found the right setting for it. Now I just have to lock that into the firmware and be done with it. And never think about it ever again.
Ray, I included 2 links in the chat for Sam's Club's racks with the little bins on them. First one's 180, the second one's 160, I think.
Okay.
Is that a good price for those?
Probably real close to the same.
I'm gonna look at the link.
There's a couple of links in the chat. And I don't know. Should I continue to post the links in the Wix page, or should we try to migrate to something else so that we all have the links? Should we migrate to GitHub or something?
Nice to have a copy of the links afterwards,
Yeah.
but
Well, Wix is see, I don't know. I don't think people really use Wix much. And Wix is getting on my nerves. They really want us to pay. Yeah, I think I think they're eventually going to get rid of the free tier altogether. If I'm reading between the lines from the emails. So they've got a free tier, but they keep you know, it it's pretty clear they really want paying customers, and they're actually more set up for like e-commerce stuff than they are the back end. If you look at the back end, it's all about customer acquisition and all kinds of other stuff. It's not really stuff that would pertain to us per se. So
This is the stand I ordered for the the vendor. Mm, I need to buy the top, maybe in wood, to put the vendor in the top. Free shipping. Supposedly, I need to make the wood top because I think they sell it, but it's a little expensive. Tabletop sold separately. I will buy a composite plant in Menards or so for $10 to do the same thing. This is the I bought this kit without the box. See. Stop.
Nice. We are in person next week, and we're almost out of time. So anybody got anything, any final thoughts?
I got nothing.
No.
No,
I'm spent.
I'm done.
I tried to bring something next week to the meeting.
I will try uh I will try as well. I'll probably try to do a little bit more with this TI robot just because it's fun and I haven't really messed with robots for quite a while, really. So getting back into the swing of getting projects actually done and doing stuff. So with all that, I think we're going to call it a day. And hopefully we will see everybody next week.
Perfect.
Good night.
Bye. See
good
you.
night.
See you later.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.